Hi, in this video I'm going to cover how to find a work at home job or a work from home job using our new site. A lot of times when people are trying to find a work from home job, they have a lot of problems because you're running into scams or you're inundated with too many ads. So this should help you avoid that. All right, so here we are at the website, and as you can see, we have a couple of different sections here. You can just do a search for a job using the search bar. There's a location feature here. Personally, I wouldn't use this. I would just keep it generic with Derek because that will limit you, and not all positions require specific locations. So I would avoid using this. I would just keep it with a job title or some keywords. You can also search by job type. So we've found some different categories, and I'll cover each one. And some of these may change by the time you visit the website, but extra income, just basically, little make money opportunities. They're not traditional jobs, but they're ways to make extra income. Freelance jobs are basically what you find at freelance websites where you have to bid against other people for a particular job. Full-time jobs are self-explanatory. A home business is basically exactly what it says. A home business will involve, a startup cost and you actually running a business. This isn't a job. You're not an employee. You're responsible for running this business, and there are some of you that want that. Independent contractor. Most work at home positions are independent contractors, meaning you're not an employee. They don't give you health insurance. You're responsible for your taxes and things like that. Not specified means that the company that we found or the company that listed it didn't really specify what type of position this is. Part-time is self-explanatory. It's something that you can do part-time. Temporary means that these positions are sometimes available, and then they go offline and then they come back sometimes. So that's basically what temporary means. So those are the job types, and again, there might be some new ones by the time you watch this video. Jobs by category, again, very self-explanatory. If you wanted a job in, as a CPA or a bookkeeper, you would go here. Accountant, financial, administrative, and clerk. Clerical would be like data entry, typing, simple things like that. Artistic would be like, I guess crafting, anything, that involves being artistic. Blogging, self-explanatory. Call center, customer service. This is where you're going to find a lot of the telephone-based jobs. Crafting, again, is basically self-explanatory if you're handy with your hands and making stuff. Education and teaching will be like online tutoring or teacher jobs. Feature jobs are the things that you see here. They appear above all the other latest jobs here. So that means that a company has paid to be a featured company here, so they get special treatment. Focus groups are basically when you visit a company and they have you sitting there with a couple of other people discussing a topic, and you get paid for sitting there talking about it. Focus groups pay actually very, very well. Health and medical, this can be, again, they're like virtual nurses now, virtual pharmacists, medical transcription. International is exactly that. Not everyone is located in the U.S., so we're going to try to put some jobs in here. Legal could be paralegal, legal transcription. Mystery shopping isn't a home-based job per se, although sometimes there are telephone mystery shopping jobs where you can do it from home, but that's basically when you go to a store, you take note of certain things, and you come back home and type it up on the computer, and you get paid for doing that. Sometimes you're paid for actually shopping. Sales are self-explanatory, where you're selling things. This could kind of fall into home-based businesses, or some telephone jobs are like that. Surveys are basically when you're given an online survey where they're asking you a series of questions about something. Technical and web. This could be any type of web-based type of opportunity that kind of falls into the extra money-making opportunity stuff. Getting paid to listen to music or clicking on something. So, or graphic designer or a webmaster or someone programming. So a lot of things can fall into there. Transcription and typing, again, self-explanatory. You're getting paid to type, whether it's listening to an audio and typing it or just regular typing. And then you have translation. A lot of us are bilingual, and so if you're bilingual, then this is a perfect thing for you because you can translate online. Writing and editing is also going to be a very popular area because there's a lot of writing and editing jobs. because there's so many websites, and there's content that needs to be put on these websites. So that's a great category. So that's basically the categories that you have here. Again, some of these may change by the time you see this, but it covers a lot. And just by clicking on some of these categories, they'll bring you to certain jobs. So if I click on this here, you can see it brings you to this type of job here. If I go to call centers, it'll bring me to call center jobs. So you could do search by here, or you can actually type in something, like let's say I type in data entry, and see I'll pull up a data entry job. All right, so I suggest using both. Don't limit yourself, because sometimes the keywords you may put in here may not necessarily work well. So try to do job category or job types. All right, and even job types I would limit myself. I would try to go directly to the category to see what's actually available. And then there are basically some other things here that you can use to narrow down the jobs. Our menu items are here, our scam section, all that stuff. As a job seeker, you can also sign in and start saving jobs. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in as a job seeker so you can see some of this capability. Okay, so now I'm signed in as a job seeker, and let's say I really like this junior accountant job here. Okay, I could go ahead and star it, and then come back to it later on. When I come back to the main screen, I could always go back to my dashboard, and then you're gonna find the job here that I starred. So I could see the jobs I starred that I like and maybe want to come back to later. I could see the recently viewed jobs. I could actually put up my resume. Eventually, we're going to have a feature where employers can search for resumes. The other good thing here is that there are job alerts here. So if you have certain keywords like data entry, if we have new jobs like that, you can get emailed about it. Again, I would probably suggest doing it with categories. Don't limit it with the keywords. So if you are interested in call center jobs or administrative stuff or typing, then click on that, and then you'll get an email about that. And you can unsubscribe here as well if you don't want to get any more emails. Let me just show you what the emails will look like. Okay, so here's an email that you would get. Just keep in mind that this is look at the from address, and make sure you add it to your address book so it doesn't end up in the spam folder. A lot of times our legitimate emails end up in spam folders, so just keep that in mind. I would add this address as soon as you get it added to your address book so you can receive those emails, and check your spam folder and move it out of there, because sometimes stuff like this ends up in the spam folders. So anyways, this is what the email looks like. You could always click on here to unsubscribe, but here's a listing of the jobs that I wanted. And again, you just click on here and it brings you to the job. So it's a nice little a feature that we didn't have before that you can take advantage of. Again, you just click here and you are right back to the dashboard, and you can always just kill the job alerts by selecting unsubscribed. And if you know how to use an RSS feed, this one actually is a specific RSS feed to you and your needs, so it will only show the stuff that you've chosen here. So you could actually use this for your own personal RSS feed if you know how to use that. So this is a great new feature, the dashboard feature, so that you as a job seeker have a little more control over things and can get some of these jobs emailed to you if you forget to come to the website. So I definitely encourage you to check that out and sign up if you see the value in that. But if not, you could just come here, just do a normal search, click on the latest jobs, check out the featured jobs, click on these things here. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you click on an actual job, you'll see that it gives you a quick little job description, how to apply. Just click here. I just give you some advice about jobs that that feature any of this stuff here. A lot of times legitimate jobs, or they look legitimate until you hear stuff about wiring money and Western Union and cashing checks. So just keep this little scam stuff in mind. We do our best to try to filter out the jobs, but sometimes, like I said, the jobs appear legitimate. You won't know that they're not legitimate until you apply to them. So just always keep this in mind. Read some of these articles about this stuff. We also have some sponsored ads. This is what keeps the website free. So, again, we're not responsible for sponsored ads. It's pretty much like watching television ads. They're there to pay the bills. Use your best judgment. Again, refer to the scam section. Watch our scam videos so that you can research any of the sponsors that you may see. Just use your common sense. Same thing goes for any job or home business opportunity. If you're unsure, click on our scam section, watch the video, and they'll show you how to research any company. So that's why we keep these links visible for you. But for the most part, we try to filter out the positions as best as we can. And, they should all be free unless it's listed as a home business. With a home business, that probably you're going to pay for a fee to start up. But regular jobs, you shouldn't have to expect that. So that's pretty much it. This is how you would find a work from home job. Hopefully it makes your life easier. We've made it very, very clean and easy to find things. So hope you appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think. Comment on the video. Share the video if you think someone else could use this type of service. Again, it's totally free, and it can definitely help you. Take care.